Yo, what's up guys, it's G4D coming at you with the pregame for a very important Week 15 regular season matchup against the human-controlled Minnesota Vikings. It's gonna be tough. Adrian Peterson, as you all know, is too fast and too strong to take down by one person, so it's gonna be a battle. Let's do some pregame. Let's see what he's got. I want to look for some tendencies. Turn that music down a little bit. Alright, so let's take a quick look around the league here. Let's see what we got going on with our... Where the heck is the standings? What are the standings this year, dude? Okay. Well, since we're in here, we'll look at the Vikings stats. Something I like to do to kind of see what their tendencies are, and these guys that I play against are pretty sophisticated, so they're going to switch it up. But in general, I like to know what their strengths are. So you can see here, he's throwing 28 interceptions. That definitely stands out. Oh, the other thing that stands out is Joe Flacco's on the Vikings. I forgot about that trade. I forget who else was involved, but I do remember Flacco, who came from the Ravens, which is a different a human-controlled team, and a very good one at that. I met them in the Super Bowl last year a couple times. Alright, so Joe Flacco and the Minnesota Vikings. I guess Flacco's a step up than Josh Freeman in real life, right? 61%, not that high. That's not very high for a computer or a human-controlled team here. Okay. I mean, the quarterback rating of under 80 isn't very good, but I believe Flacco was played on two different teams under two different players this year, so it might not all be on Larry, the Viking owner here. So that's a good sign. That means he's having some trouble passing the ball, and he is throwing interceptions against probably humans and computer teams there. So that definitely plays into my favor. Adrian Peterson, what can I say, broke the record for most rushing yards in a season with 2,247, and we're in week 15, so kudos to Larry on that, averaging 7.6 yards, 26. I mean, this is what you expect. I mean, averaging 172 yards a game is maybe a little bit more than what you'd expect. Only 2 fumbles, 18 over 20 plus yards. I mean, yeah, that's what you'd expect, right? Adrian Peterson's going to be tearing it up. This is an interesting piece right here, right? I love to see, who's the favorite target here. You can see the tight end is a very popular target. It looks like Larry signed Randy Moss off the waiver wire here, and likes to throw to him. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Cordell Patterson, who's very fast, a very athletic guy. Very jealous of him. And you see Peterson here is has the fourth most catches. Excuse me. With Greg Jennings right behind him. So one thing I like to look at when I'm doing game planning is the receptions, right? But the other thing that's very important is also the yards. So you can see while Jarius Wright only has 16 receptions, he has, I think, the second most in yards. So he's definitely going to the right in key situations, or is using him in a way where he's definitely highly involved in the offense. But you can see, Kyle Rudolph is the #1 receiver in both catches and in yards and in touchdowns. So he's somebody that I'm going to want to focus on during the game. And, I'm imagining he's going to use him in play action. Play action to the tight end doing a corner route is really deadly. So I'm going to try to figure out how to stop that. The basic things you're thinking of are buzz zones. If your guys can get out there in the buzz zone fast enough, if they don't go for the fake. And yeah, I mean, maybe I could get a cover 3. Maybe I'll get him in a cover 3 and try to jump that route. User control the corner over there. If I don't try to stop the run by using the middle linebacker, you know, it's a tough call. I'll have to feel it out. I'll have to guess right on when the play action is going to be. And I'll probably get more aggressive in the second half with those guesses. First half, I'll probably just do some reading. I'll read when he's doing it. Is it a third down? Is he doing first down play action? I would imagine he's going to run first and second down primarily. And then if he's forced into a passing situation, he's going to pass. So I'm gonna key off on the running game. I'm gonna try to stop his running game. Let's see if there's any kind of craziness. Load hole is a right tackle. It's allowed 4 sacks. It's not that many actually. Left tackle 6'7". I think it's tall. Right guard, left guard. It's pretty spread out. Alright, that doesn't tell me a whole lot. So basically on offense, I'm seeing, you know, I'm a keying on the tight end. And I always like to know that his first, second, and third really. So Greg, you know, I'm looking at these yardage numbers over here. And I'm pretty, well, these other guys have more catches. I don't know that how much I'm going to be scared. I think I'm going to be more scared of these guys getting balls. So actually, I want to look at his lineup and see if these are slot receivers. That'll help me out a lot. If these guys are the number 3 and 4 wide receivers in his lineup, I'm going to expect them to be in the slot most of the time, and so I'm going to try to cover them. I'm guessing these are going to be, these are hitting these with streaks over the center, hitting him in the seam against zone coverage, or these are on corner routes where he's going to be beating either a man or a zone. So I'll check that out in 1 second in the depth chart. But I'm going to finish out with this roster real quick. Look at some more stats here. Alright, defense, most tackles, little linebacker, right outside, Desmond Bishop, alright. Alright. I like tackles for loss. It shows me maybe who's blitzing. You do get a tackle for loss when you get a sack, but also tells you who's really getting penetration and stopping a run play. So it's either someone that's beating their block regularly or someone that's having blitzing from their side. Either they're blitzing or someone, a linebacker behind them is blitzing. So Brian Robinson, he's a left end. So I'm going to want to see where he's at in the depth chart to see where he's being played, because like my team, I'm playing left ends at defensive tackles and linebackers at left end and all that stuff. So I want to see where Brian Robinson is being lined up. I want to see where that right wide receiver and Greg Jennings are lined up on offense. The depth chart. Not a whole lot of interceptions. I'm not really going to dig into those. I'll probably just look at some ratings when I get to the depth chart. Yeah, it's not a whole lot. Catches allowed, I don't know how much that's really being tracked. Sometimes when EA like introduces a new thing, it's not flawless, that's just what happens, you know? You're building a lot of video games and you have very well thought out ones. Sometimes little things that you add don't get fully polished the first go around. So not a whole lot of fumbles either. Not really scared of that. Just checking, seeing if there's anything that stands out over here. Oh, I forgot I have to double. The sorting is backwards, so when you press sort once, it does least to largest. The ascending to the descending. Alright. So 2 takeaways with this were his sack leader and tackle for loss leader, Robinson, and then Greg Jennings, the 2 wide receivers I need to look into. see where they're coming from. Other than that, I'll just focus in on the on his main squeezes, right? Adrian Peterson running the ball, and then Kyle Rudolph on probably some play action. Yeah, I'm curious about these touchdowns, just in case he has some kind of secret touchdown mojo. Doesn't look like it on the returns. All right. So this is some stats digging that we did here on the game plan. Let's get into our depth chart. So let's get into Larry's depth chart. You've already seen my depth chart. Let's get into Larry's depth chart. What you got, Larry? He's playing Jennings at number 1, Moss at 2, Peterson, and then Wright. So this guy is going to be a slot wide receiver. Interesting. So he's passing to his first, second, and fourth wide receivers the most. Well, Patterson has some. So he's actually fairly spread out. Okay. That doesn't really help me a whole lot. Alright, so Kyle Rudolph, I already know, doesn't have a whole lot of backup. Wow, this guy's rated 99 overall? Holy cow. So in this area, I generally like to look at their pass block and run block. He's a really good pass blocker. Okay. So what I like to look for on the offensive line is, you know, if they're an outstanding run blocker, I want to just make note of it. But generally, I'm looking for pass blocking. And to me, pass blocking is the ability to pass block is a combination of your pass block skill, speed, acceleration, awareness, and agility. So you have to be athletic enough to get there. And run blocking is more like strength, impact blocking, and run blocking. So I'm really interested to look for sides of the ball, maybe where I can blitz. If I blitz in the middle or that left or the right side of the offensive line, looking for weaknesses, and maybe I can get a matchup where I put my best pass rusher on their worst pass blocker. So it's not going to be Matt Khalil. All right, here we go. 84 pass blocking, that's not that good. I might be able to match up against him. Decent awareness over there. Now see, this to me is a weakness. Once you drop into the 70s and you're going to be going up against, I'll double check Trent Cole's finesse moves, but I believe it's in the 90s, so he'll be able to own this guy. So I could come out in like some 3-down lineman formation, throw Trent Cole at the nose tackle, then he's gonna be lined up one-on-one with Roberto Garza. I think we can win that matchup. Keep that in the back pocket. All right, 84, 86, meh. And then 84, 97 on that run block. Not bad. 96 strength, but he's darn slow over there. I think I almost signed this guy. I think this guy might have been a free agent. That's a good pickup. Good job by Larry. All right, so I learned a little bit about that center. I'm gonna try to put a pass rusher over there. I'll try to keep that in mind. About, yeah, maybe I'll test it in the first half, see how that matchup goes, and then I'll key in on it in the second half if it works. This is the guy I'm interested in. He is playing left end. That's good enough. That's left end in the position. It's going to be the right end on the screen when we're actually playing the ball. The right side of the screen. He's going to be lined up. So he's going to be going over Lane Johnson out there on the right. He's a pretty good pass blocker. So I like that matchup actually. Finesse moves, that's pretty good. He's in the 90s there. Let's see what else. What's his acceleration? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. He's good. It's not great. It's good. Oh, Jared Allen, of course. He's really good. I want to look at here block shedding. I didn't see these block shedding stats. I like to look at those for my run game. So none of these guys are really blowing me. I mean, 70s, 80s, and we're in the 80s here for our defensive tackle. So I feel fairly confident that I'll be able to run. Mixing up the run. I'll be able to mix up the run against these guys fairly well. That's pretty darn good awareness though. 95. Alright. So I'm looking here at awareness. You know, I think awareness and play recognition play a lot into how good these guys react. Man coverage, zone coverage, playing the run, all that. And you combine that with a good pursuit, you got a really good linebacker in terms of getting the ball. But if he gets blocked, you know, my fullback has over 85, run blocking, so he should be able to be pretty sticky against this guy, which is good. This guy sucks. All right. Desmond Bishop, of course, is pretty good. Yeah. 87 block shots. He's on the right side. He's on the right side, okay? Make note of that. Now let's check out these guys. I like to look at their... first I tend to look for corners. I love to look at the man coverage, zone coverage. Just see what kind of style of defense he can run effectively. So if he's gonna need man coverage points or ratings up here to run it, and he's in the mid to low 80s here, so that's not good. So I should be able to, even against this 85 guy, should be able to get open fairly well. But with man coverage, I have an assumption here that it's tied heavily to your play recognition, and you can see these play recognition stats are pretty darn low. The highest being a 73. So I feel very comfortable if Larry comes out against him in man coverage. And he's got decent zone coverage over here, so I would imagine he's going to be playing a fair amount of zone. He does have pretty good press. I mean, you got 90 press coverage and an 88, two 88s. You got this 88 down here too. That's pretty good. It's pretty good, but it's only on, based on his depth chart, that fifth guy won't be playing very much, so he's going to have two slot receivers be able to get off their press pretty easily. And even if these guys can't man up against anybody really, so that's pretty good. I feel confident there. I don't think there's anything you really need to avoid based on that. Let's check out some speed rating, accelerate. Yep. This guy's fast, Josh Robinson. I like it. But let's see. Look, the awareness is pretty low. It's in the 70s.
Right now,
so. Not really scared about anything. I should be able to have my way in general against that secondary. Not really impressed with anything on this defense, really. So let's get hit power. I like to know where the big hitters are, and awareness for the safeties. And of course the speed. See if there's any kind of freak athlete out there I need to be aware of it. I wanna know where the Troy Polamalu's are in the field, because you really gotta limit the balls you throw to that area. This is not Harrison Smith. You are not a Polamalu. Power 88. He can definitely cause some fumbles. Jamarcus Sanford 83. Slow. Awareness 78. Yeah. He's a strong safety. He'll be able to knife in there and cause some fumbles. Okay. It's good to know. Good to know. I want to check Trent Cole real quick to see how he'll match up against that center if I do choose to put him up there. But basically, to review, what I learned here is He's spreading out his love to all 4 of his top 4 wide receivers. He has a weak center in pass coverage, pass blocking, so I should be able to maybe try to exploit that if I can blitz 5 and put my best pass rusher on the center. I should be able to have him get beat quickly and get in there. So if he's not doing a quick pass or a run, I might be able to exploit that. And then everywhere else on defense, I'm not really scared. I mean, even his sack leader doesn't seem that good. But, you know, sometimes there's guys that don't seem good in Madden, but for whatever reason, they tear it up on the field. So you always gotta read into those with some caution here. So Trent Cole's listed as a right outside linebacker. Cole, where are you? And I'm gonna look at his finesse moves here. Where is your finesse moves? Did I pass it? Hey, how do they keep moving these things around? What the heck? Finesse move. I don't know where it is. 95 finesse moves. So he's pretty much, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's my best. I can't sort right now. Yeah, he's my best finesse move player. So I will line him up over that center, and I'll rush 5. That'll be sweet. I'm probably using him in a passing situation, so I'm thinking I can do a 3-3-5. I'll blitz my 2 outside linebackers, and then I'll be rushing 5 total. And so the guards will have to pull out if they can to get to those edge rushers, and hopefully, so they'll separate themselves out from that center, leaving him on an island. And Trent Cole, we'll see if he can do that. I'll try that early. In the game. So we'll have a 3-5-5 in a 3 wide receiver set passing situation. Hopefully, when he's trying to go for a 3rd and long. So we need to get him in that 3rd and long. To do that, I need to stop Adrian Peterson, priority number 1. And priority number 2 will be Kyle Rudolph. Alright. Seems like a good defensive game plan. Offensively, nothing really stuck out. So I think I can lead the way. I can dictate on offense what I want to do. I don't think I need to play into any weakness of his, because I don't see any strength of his, really. So also what I like to do in my game planning is I like to peek at how they've done in the past. So if we can get into how my opponents play against other opponents, other humans, because you see these stats and they could have, you know, a 100-point win against a computer game that totally skew how they actually play against human-controlled opponents. So this game right here is against a human-controlled opponent. A good one too. I'm gonna play this guy next. I'm playing the Bears next week, so I'm gonna take a look at the Vikings stats, see what he's able to do. 250 yards. It's decent. He did have Flacco. This is week 2, so he did have Flacco early. That means he did throw most of those 28 interceptions. Peterson did his thing. 22 touches, 166 yards, 3 touchdowns. He threw to right, and this guy did stand out on his other stat sheet. So Rudolph, only 2 catches for 11 yards, which means to me maybe a flat pass with 1 corner pass, maybe some curls. Not really sure with that one. And this does stand out too. Greg Jennings, one with, oh, I thought that was a touchdown. I was reading that wrong. That's yards after catch. But if you see someone that has like 2 catches and 2 touchdowns, you know that they are targeted in the red zone. So I usually key in on that. He hasn't had any passing touchdowns. What else do we see? Anything that stands out? Looking for a whole lot of sacks. Who's getting interceptions? Pass deflection sometimes tell you what should have been an interception. Forced fumbles, there's nothing really here. There's one that doesn't stand out. So, I'll put me back on the knee. That's frustrating. Let's take another look. Let's see what else they have here. Steelers are another team. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to limit my time in this menu. I'm going to go to the latest. Ooh, he played the Ravens and the Bears again. These are both human-controlled teams. I'm going to look at his most recent game. That gives me the "what have you done for me lately, Larry?" And we can see what's going on here. Okay, that's really different. He has 186 yards throwing only, but then he has 4 touchdown passes with no interception. So not a great, yeah, that's average completion percentage, 20 for 31. So he was throwing the ball. What was the box score? Wait, so who won? I'm guessing the Ravens won. How do you know who the home team, who's on top, who's on bottom? Jesus, guys, come on. Alright, sorry, I need to figure out who won, because that definitely tells you, with that scoring discrepancy, you know, someone's just going to be passing the whole time. So Larry beat the Ravens 38-14. I'm surprised he threw so much. 31 passes is a lot, but 4 touchdown passes. Okay. Peterson ran 18 times. Oh, and so he's doing a dual back system. That's good to know too. And he ran 3 times with the fullback. He ran with the wide receiver and a different fullback. He's running the ball out. So this was probably one of those, ooh, what are they called? Those motion routes where the wide receiver comes behind the quarterback there and he hands it off. 3 rushes for the fullback is very interesting. I'm guessing those are those fake halfback toss fullback dives. But this is just, he's just started mixing it up. I mean, 11 carries by Toby Gerhardt. Very interesting. And you can see that's what, 29, 32, 33, 34. I mean, 34 rushes is a lot of rushes. 31 passes, 34 rushes. So I know I can play the run first. Look at that, he's going to Randy Moss. 6 catches. Jennings and a touchdown. Rudolph has those 2 touchdowns. That's what I'm talking about. That tells me when he goes to Rudolph. Okay. Tell me the longs. No, tell me there were touchdowns. Tell me the longs. 27. Alright. So I can tell he's using these 3 guys the most. Moss and Jennings, his top 2 wide receivers, and his tight ends. So that tells me he's also probably not in a whole lot of 3 wide receiver sets, because he's going to run the ball. He wants to be in a flexible position where he can run with his fullback and a tight end, or he can pass to his 2 outside wide receivers with a great inside threat in Kyle Rudolph. So that's good. I can get a feel for what kind of D I'm going to be running. And it's good. I can roll in the 4-6, you know. I have a bunch of guys in the box. My 2 good outside cornerbacks doing their thing. I put them on islands. What the heck? I'll have help over the top, but it's good. It's good to know. Okay, so what else happened in this game? No sacks, huh? No pancakes. Weird. Wow, a whole lot of tackles. Not allowed for a loss. Anything interesting? 1 sack. Couple interceptions. Middle linebacker. Right outside linebacker. And Xavier Rhodes. For some reason, I got a feeling he's going to have some voodoo magic going on. He's one of those, you know, he's a rookie. He's fast. Doesn't have all the other stats. But sometimes some of these guys are like an anomaly in Madden, and they, for whatever reason, play really well. some kind of cheat code built into him. And plus, he's from Florida State, you know, EA Tiburon's in Florida, and some of those guys are, you know, homers for their home teams and all that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this guy, he's the #1 cornerback. He'll be matched up on Deshaun Jackson a lot. You have to keep an eye on that. Oh, he wasn't the fast one, huh? He had a really good blocking, really good press coverage, but he was only like a 91 speed. So maybe I'll beat Deshaun Jackson to the top with that. Why not? All right. So we learned he liked his top 2 wide receivers. He passed even though he was winning by a lot. Although he did have a lot of runs, so I bet he loaded up on a lot of those runs in the 4th quarter. I bet AP got tired. That's why he put in Gerhardt. Okay, so I'm getting a feel for how he's running. I'm guessing a lot of 2 wide receiver sets, so I'm gonna definitely say focused on stopping the run first. That's just implied by playing the Vikings in the first place, right? All right, so I think I got my my little game plan down. I'm actually gonna be, I might as well just practice some of it right now while it's fresh in my head, and then I'm gonna be playing Larry at a different time, cause he's, I don't know if he's online tonight or not. I don't know what's going on with him. All right. So if you're watching my last video against the Detroit Lions, you're going to notice that I worked with some of my pressure packages out of the 4-6 defense. I'll work on some run D right here. I'll work on mixing in those pressure packages. Pressure packages. That's right, Bob. I'll be working on some pressure packages in between my run stopping. I'm gonna focus on, I don't know, like the practice squad. They have a kind of Marshawn Lynch style of halfback. At least that's how the Eagles have it. All right, coming out with 4 wide. I'm gonna do pressure package. Pressure package. Yeah. So that's that pressure. All right. He's staying 4 wide. That's interesting. I'll stay in my shit. Got lucky on that. Dude was open. I do want to get a little bit better on that draw. I wasn't quite prepared for that. I was also controlling the safety with against the Vikings. I want to play as a linebacker. That's going to be my priority, stopping that run. So I'm going to want to get, I mean, he was in the 4 wide, blah, 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 but all right, let's get this precision modifier. Dang, dude. His agility, like, kind of faked himself out right there. Need to work on that. Work on that, Damaris. Alright, so I'm gonna dictate, man. I'm gonna dictate. How that dictate? Alright. Macklin's right. I'm gonna look for X right here. Kinda like these. I got that single high. Ooh. Cover 0. Did not anticipate that. And it showed. Alright, let's get back to this. Playing off. Yeah, speed. That's just speed right there. Loving that. So I need what? I need 7 points. Keep it rolling. I really like that play. It's just a dive. It's a simple dive, but everyone's so spread out. You got a 5-on-5 up there. Your dude just got to go through the right hole. Oh, fuck. That was not supposed to happen. And that pretty much might take away a 2,000. He's kneeling? He's kneeling. Fuck that. Alright. These guys are too good. Fuck you, practice squad. Whoa. Getting excited. Getting excited. I can call timeouts. I only got one, but that's the game. Dang, dude. Jeez. Yeah, man, he fumbled, and I'm pretty sure I consider myself fairly conservative on the sticks. I don't throw all kinds of crazy spin moves and all that. I do the protect ball a lot. You know, I get close to a hit. I've gotten burned so bad with those fumbles, especially last year. It's really frustrating. I would really just I just move. I just use the left stick to move around, and then about before I get hit, just cover up. Shady McCoy he's fast and agile enough that I can still make my breaks. And in this version of the game, you can make those cuts. You're not really doing a juke. You're just making a cut, and you can fake people out. So even in this version, it's even better to not even force yourself into any moves. You can just stick there with that ball cover move and zigzag yourself around. So that's real disappointing. I didn't really get it, they kneeled it out for more than half of what the practice time allotted is, so I didn't get to practice a whole lot. I had one offensive stint. Kind of sucks. And I had 2 plays on defense, which is what I really wanted to practice. That sucks. But that's it for the pregame, guys. You see my game plan. Number 1 priority on defense is stop AP. Number 2 priority on defense is to stop Kyle Rudolph. 3rd priority is their top 2 wide receivers, Greg Jennings and Randy Moss. On offense, I'm gonna mix it around. I'm gonna do a wide variety of things, and to see what I'm most successful with. Everything from draws to screens to deep passes to drags across short passes, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the mood to pass a lot or to run a lot. I love going up early, so I'm gonna try to score as fast and as much points as I can early, and then I'll see what happens from there. So yeah, I'll push it down the field early. That's how I'm gonna do it. All right, y'all. That's it for the Week 15 regular season pregame show. In Season 1, it's the Philadelphia Eagles in the Dome in Minneapolis against the Vikings. We will see what goes down next in the gameplay video. I will see you then, guys. Peace.